Invisible economy: why every supermarket is owned by the same 5 companies. You walk into a supermarket thinking you're choosing freely. But no matter which aisle you turn, which brand you pick, or which discount you chase, you're already inside a system owned by 5 invisible giants. And the competition you think exists? It's just an illusion, carefully designed to keep you buying. Before we dig in, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment. Tell us the last time you thought you were choosing between 2 brands, only to find out they were owned by the same company. Because what we're about to uncover isn't just about food, it's about power, control, and the psychology behind what you eat. Look around your local supermarket. From snacks to cereals, cleaning products to cosmetics, the shelves look endless. Thousands of options, hundreds of colors, every flavor imaginable. It feels like freedom. But if you strip away the packaging and the advertising, you'll discover that nearly everything you see belongs to one of 5 conglomerates. Nestlé, PepsiCo, Unilever, Coca-Cola, and Kraft Heinz. They own or control thousands of sub-brands, each designed to appear unique, local, or artisanal. The effect is psychological: choice overload. You feel empowered, but in reality, your decision still funnels money into the same handful of corporate pockets. This is not accidental. It's strategy. It started decades ago, when companies realized something simple. Owning the shelf space is more valuable than competing for it. So instead of battling, they began acquiring. A small cereal brand here. A local snack company there. A regional dairy producer, a bottled water line, an organic label, each one absorbed into a growing empire. And every acquisition made your supermarket look more diverse. Because on the surface, it did. But underneath, ownership was becoming more concentrated. In economic terms, this is called horizontal integration, when a few companies expand across product categories to dominate multiple market layers. But in psychological terms, it's perceived diversity, a subtle trick that convinces the human brain that it has control. Psychologists have long known that people crave autonomy. We like to feel that our decisions matter. So, when a consumer sees 20 different yogurt brands, they assume they're making a personal, informed choice. But studies show that beyond 6 to 8 options, people stop analyzing. They decide emotionally, often reverting to familiar logos, colors, or packaging they've seen repeatedly. And repetition? That's where the giants win. Because only companies with enormous advertising budgets can afford to keep their visuals in your subconscious. TV, billboards, digital ads, product placements, all reinforcing the illusion that you're seeing hundreds of independent brands when it's really 5. Every glance, every jingle, every shelf display, a subtle conditioning. Not to make you pick one product over another, but to make you pick within the system. The control doesn't stop with the brands. It extends to the supermarket layout itself. The average grocery store is a carefully engineered behavioral experiment. Staples like milk, eggs, and bread? Placed at the back, forcing you to walk through aisles filled with impulse buys. Premium brands sit at eye level, the most profitable real estate on any shelf. Cheaper alternatives are placed lower, where your gaze rarely falls. End caps, those bright displays at the aisle ends, are often paid placements, sold by the same corporations to secure psychological advantage. It's a silent choreography. You think you're browsing freely, but the route you walk, the music you hear, the lighting you move under, all of it is calculated to nudge, not force, your decisions. Supermarkets are not stores. They are stages. And you are part of the performance. By the 1990s, consolidation had accelerated. Corporations realized that competing across thousands of brands was inefficient. It was easier to acquire their rivals, and then keep both brands alive to maintain the illusion of choice. That's why you'll see Coca-Cola and Sprite side by side. Both belong to the same parent. Or Lay's and Doritos, same company, PepsiCo. Or Hellmann's and Knorr, both Unilever. Even healthy or organic options aren't safe. Most have been quietly acquired and rebranded under the same corporate umbrellas, often without you noticing. And so, as the world globalized, your supermarket became a theater of familiar lies. Competing logos, identical owners. The economics of this system are brutal and brilliant. When a handful of corporations dominate, they don't have to compete on price. They compete on perception. That's why product differentiation becomes psychological. Words like natural, local, eco-friendly, or artisanal are designed not for accuracy, but for emotion. They create identity, a personal connection between you and a product that's mass-produced in the same facility as its rival. It's called emotional branding, the transformation of commodities into relationships. And once you've bonded emotionally with a brand, loyalty follows. Loyalty means predictability. And predictability is profit. Every scent, every flavor, every slogan is tuned to your subconscious biases. Companies use behavioral data, eye tracking, and neuroscience research to fine-tune the smallest details, from label color to font shape, to ensure you keep reaching for the same product. It's not about feeding you. It's about training you. This control goes deeper than what's on shelves. Behind every product, there's a supply chain, farming, manufacturing, logistics, and distribution. The same 5 corporations hold stakes, partnerships, or contracts throughout these layers. They own the processing plants, the packaging factories, the distributors. They control pricing for suppliers and dictate terms to small producers. When farmers protest low prices for crops, it's often because the Big Five negotiate in bulk, forcing margins down while maintaining high shelf prices. This isn't free market competition. It's structured dominance, oligopoly disguised as choice. And when one company controls both the raw ingredient and the finished product, they don't just make money. They shape what's available to you, what's marketed to you, and what's missing entirely from your diet. Most people don't question this. Why? Because the system rewards familiarity and convenience. Your brain craves comfort and repetition. Seeing the same logos, colors, and slogans over years builds subconscious trust, a psychological shortcut known as the mere exposure effect. That's why, even when people say they want variety, they still end up buying the same brands. The illusion of change is enough to satisfy the mind. So, while new independent brands appear on shelves, many are actually subsidiaries. Their purpose? To capture skeptical consumers who are avoiding big corporations, and bring them back under the same umbrella. You think you escaped the system. But it's still the same 5 companies waiting at the checkout. Each of the 5 giants understands visibility is both power and vulnerability. So they let their sub-brands shine while staying in the shadows. The average shopper doesn't know Nestlé owns Nespresso, Kit Kat, Purina, and San Pellegrino. Or that Unilever controls Dove, Lipton, Ben & Jerry's, and Axe. Or that Kraft Heinz manages everything from Heinz ketchup to Capri Sun. This brand diffusion strategy ensures no single controversy damages the empire. If one product loses trust, consumers simply migrate to another brand owned by the same company. You don't boycott them. You just move within their walls. Every marketing campaign you see is rooted in a psychological cycle: guilt, relief, and reward. You feel guilty for buying junk food, so a low-fat label gives relief. You feel guilty for plastic waste, so an eco-friendly badge grants forgiveness. You feel guilty for spending too much, so a discount offers reward. The emotion changes, but the buyer stays. These companies don't just sell food. They sell emotional permission. They design guilt, and then sell the cure in the same aisle. It's a closed psychological loop that ensures you never truly escape consumption. Ever notice how sales feel less like savings and more like manipulation lately? That's because in a concentrated market, companies can raise prices in sync without violating competition laws directly. They just mirror each other's behavior, a silent agreement built on mutual interest. And during global crises, pandemics, wars, or supply chain disruptions, these 5 corporations often record record profits. Because when fear increases, so does consumption. People stockpile. People trust brands they already know. And loyalty deepens, even as prices climb. It's not just inflation. It's engineered resilience, for them, not for you. Now, supermarkets aren't just physical. They're digital ecosystems. Every online grocery order, loyalty card swipe, and personalized coupon feeds into data profiles. What time you shop, what items you repeat, what products you ignore, all of it becomes part of your behavioral fingerprint. That data is then used to predict your needs before you're even aware of them. Soon, AI-driven pricing models will adjust in real time, offering you discounts not to save you money, but to optimize your lifetime value to the brand. Once again, the illusion of personalization conceals a deeper truth: you are the product. So, why does this matter? Because when 5 corporations decide what goes on your plate, you lose more than choice. You lose cultural diversity. You lose small producers. You lose the natural competition that keeps innovation alive. It's the invisible economy at its most sophisticated. A network of control hiding behind the smile of your favorite cereal mascot. They don't need to force you. They just guide you, gently, repeatedly, profitably. The first step is awareness. Next time you're in a supermarket, pick 5 random products. Then, search who owns them. Watch the illusion collapse in real time. Because once you see the pattern, it's impossible to unsee it. And awareness breaks the system's most powerful weapon, invisibility. If this episode made you rethink your next grocery trip, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into the world's invisible economies. Comment below, which brand shocked you the most when you discovered who owns it? Because in the invisible economy of supermarkets, the real product isn't on the shelf. It's you.